conspiracy was. Reporters in Washington and New York frantically called their many sources in the permanent national security state for more details. From his perch on Twitter, desiccated neocon ghoul David Frum cheered them on. Vast experience lying in the run-up to the Iraq War, he put those talents to use. In this frenzy to find this new batch of Russian spies, the media did miss a few obvious leads. For example, two people reporters forgot to call were Joe and Hunter Biden. Presumably the Bidens could have confirmed whether or not the famous laptop was real, and that would have ended the speculation. It would have informed the rest of us. But somehow no one thought to do that. Finally, last Friday night, one reporter, Bo Erickson of CBS, blurted out the question to Joe Biden himself. And here's what happened next.
I know you'd ask it. I have no response. It's another smear campaign. It's right up your alley. They're the questions you always ask.
Oh, it's a smear campaign right up your alley. I have no response, said Joe Biden. Biden didn't deny the story because he knows that laptop from the Delaware repair shop did in fact belong to his son, Hunter. And we know it too. We confirmed that conclusively last week. Everything we have learned since then, and there has been a lot that we've learned since then, bolsters that conclusion. The laptop in question belonged to our Hunter Biden, period. It is not a Russian fabrication. So Bo Erickson of CBS asked a legitimate question. And for that very reason, within minutes, Democratic operatives, including many in the media, landed on him. The point of attacking a man who appears to be a fairly liberal CBS reporter was to send a message to the rest of the press corps. Shut up and obey the narrative, or else. According to Greg Sargent of the Washington Post, quote, the real problem here is this is a useless question from a journalistic perspective. Large parts of the story are invented, unconfirmed, highly dubious. What is learned by placing the work of denying them on Biden, end quote. Notice Greg Sargent doesn't explain what parts are unconfirmed or false. No part.
Jon Favreau?
No email has been shown to be false. They're not even claiming it's false. Doesn't matter. Another Democratic operative called Jon Favreau called the Washington Post the
Jon Favreau is a
Russian disinformation. Concluded Biden was too nice. Michael McFaul, he now works at Stanford, he used to work in the Obama administration for 5 years, attacked Bo Erickson for, quote, discussing disinformation. You're not even allowed to discuss it. Then the actor of Alec Baldwin,
Billy Baldwin?
Take the beat down, learn from it, and move on. What is this? It's happening in concert, all at one time. What you're watching is the most powerful people in America aligning as one to hide legitimate information from the public. This is not the way our country used to operate. Are you terrified yet? You should be terrified because it worked. That's why they do it, because it works. Here are the questions reporters are asking Joe Biden now.
All right.
What flavor ice cream did you get?
We got one vanilla, one chocolate, but I wanted to get what we call black and white. We're going to move it. We're going to split it.
What flavor did you get? That was the question. This is a man who has relatively few opportunities to speak to the press, and when they get a chance, they ask, what flavor did you get? And if you don't want to end up like Bo Erickson of CBS, that's the kind of question you'd better ask the Democratic nominee for president with fewer than 2 weeks to go until Election Day. So after Joe Biden gave his answer, one vanilla, one chocolate, in case you missed the answer, another reporter had a follow-up. Listen to how that went. So the second the words FBI emerge, Joe Biden walks away. And yet that's not even the worst part of the clip you just saw. The worst part is the other journalists. They burst out laughing before they even hear the rest of the question. Asking about the FBI proved you can't talk about that. So the journalists laughed at them. That's the state media protecting the powerful. No one thought to ask Biden why, if the laptop is a Russian invention, there's a letter from Hunter Biden's lawyer asking for the laptop back. Is he part of the conspiracy too? We don't know, and we're not going to learn, because Joe Biden has now gone into hiding until Thursday's debate. And that means the media can continue to collude unimpeded with our spy agency to lie to you. It's the Russians, because Russia, and repeat after us as we
It's
see
the
this,
Russians.
because Russia is the greatest threat we face.
It's the
We've
Russians.
got a person named Donald Trump who has been warned that he is receiving and is now regurgitating, repeating, and disseminating disinformation that he knows to be fabricated and supplied by a foreign intelligence service.
Russia.
Despite the warning, he's still doing it.
Oh no.
It is to me, and I was never even an ambassador to the Russian Federation. Tell me why it's so obviously a Russian plot to you.
Rudy basically functioning as a Russian asset by pushing Russian disinformation.
CNN reported on Friday if those emails we just talked about are connected to an ongoing Russian disinformation effort. Huh.
You know, at some point, you got to be honest and say, who cares what's on Hunter Biden's laptop? What you just saw is the real threat. The powerful, the most powerful in our country colluding to dismiss legitimate questions using a fake threat of Russian disinformation. That's scary. Rest assured, though, unnamed U.S. authorities
That
are on
is
the case going
scary.
to the bottom of this Russian plot. There's no evidence of wrongdoing, of course, but they're still on the case. Who are these authorities exactly, and who are they working for? Well, on Saturday, Senator Chris Murphy, a sitting senator from Connecticut, let us know. Murphy is a Democrat. He sits on the Foreign Intelligence Committee. Here's what he wrote, quote, Joe Biden and all of us should be furious that media outlets are spreading what is very likely Russian propaganda. I've seen the intel. The mainstreaming of misinformation is Russia's 2020 goal, end quote. That's worse than anything Joe McCarthy of Wisconsin ever said, and dumber. I've seen the intel. Notice that Senator Murphy of Connecticut didn't tell us what the so-called intel said, much less show it to the rest of us so we could evaluate it for ourselves. Powerful people have seen the intel. You haven't. You must take their word for it. Otherwise, maybe you're working for Vladimir Putin. Maybe you're a Russian spy. You want to get accused of that? Of treason? I don't think so. So just take it on faith, pal. Adam Schiff is working that line for years now. This week he was back at it.
Well, we know that this whole smear on Joe Biden comes from the Kremlin, but clearly the origins of this whole smear are from the Kremlin, and the president is only too happy to have Kremlin help in trying to amplify it. I think we.
All right, I think I've had enough of this.
And it's been, the
Adam
president
Schiff,
and the Kremlin.
Wolf
He's been
Blitzer,
giving- doesn't stop
Adam
giving to
Schiff,
the Kremlin.
Wolf
And
Blitzer.
this-
It's
this
all
particular
Russian
smear, though,
propaganda.
has also been